What is up, guys? This is OTG back here with our second YouTube video. Today's topic of discussion will be C3 AI, or ticker name AI. Pretty phenomenal ticker name if you ask me, but we can just hop right on into it here. I have the chart already pulled up. The reason that we'll be discussing AI today is there seems to be an accumulation occurring on AI. What accumulation is typically is after following a very large, down thrust or decrease in price, you'll typically see a chart after some time, gradually make a shift and, changing momentum, right? So you kind of get typically a rounding bottom action, or we're put in layman's terms, typically buyers get exhausted. And then after a short time or a long time, buyers, thought process on a certain stock tends to shift. So that's typically what we see here. This is called a Wyckoff accumulation, coined by very famous, pretty much the founding father of technical analysis, right? Um, Richard Wyckoff. And as you can see here with this schematic or this image overlaid, it's getting very close to resembling that accumulation pattern. So, we have that large decline in price in phase A. We just change the transparency. You can see this a little bit better in this example. So, again, we see that large decline in price. Have a few up thrusts here and there, but not making a substantial move until we pretty much get around the lowest of the low, or our ST here, around $11 or so on AI. Now, after that move, AI went up pretty much over 400% from that very bottom. So we do have that large upthrust there in that phase B portion, and we have kind of worked down. With that being said here, and we can kind of change the transparency again, make things a little bit more clear when we overlay it. But as you can see, it's not going to be exact, of course, but you can definitely get the picture of what could be possibly happening here. So we do have earnings coming relatively soon next month. Now, that could be the area where we do eventually test that lower low and eventually make a lower low, which would be considered our spring. And you get a back test of that spring. What that basically means is typically you'll see a new lower low, which would be like the final exhaustion point, right? Where eventually buyers get that above that level, and then typically is when that largest move on the accumulation schematic occurs. So, overlaid again, it's getting very close to forming that spring point, which would be that phase C. So we are starting to shift here. But yeah, it can get very interesting as far as a long-term outlook on AI. Again, with earnings soon can be, hit or miss on how that usually plays out. But as you can see here with the overlay, very clear, very obvious that there definitely is. There does seem to be at least a change in momentum. So something to keep an eye on here. AI, is it worth investing in for the future? AI is you know the capabilities of AI is pretty much infinite. So definitely not a bad place to park your money. But again, this is not financial advice. Please always do your own research. But I just wanted to share something that I've been observing here on AI. I would love to get some, questions for you for you guys there answered. So please leave any comments in the chat. I'd love to go over certain stocks. If you guys have any interest in certain stocks, certain charts, more than happy to take a look at that for you. So you guys have a great week. Um, and yeah, that's all for today. Thanks a lot.